Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our Daily Gratitude Call. Thank you for joining our call today. Look forward to what we get to discover. I want to give a special welcome to those who are here live. I sincerely appreciate everything that you bring to our call. It's how we create such a powerful, synergistic result within this gratitude call is having so many great minds together and listening for your inspiration in our private silent meditation that we're going to be moving into in just a moment. And I am just really, really grateful for your consistency, for being here and helping us to create such a wonderful way to start our morning. It's just really awesome. So thank you for being here. And also want to welcome all those who are joining on our podcast. And if you have not joined live ever, I really want to encourage you to come and be on at 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time with us and help us create this call together. And if you're an occasional drop-in live caller, we really appreciate you being here when you can, and just continue to come and share as often as you can. We love this community feeling that's here. For today, several things were mentioned actually before we started the recording about future reality, like being in dream mode, preparing for things to come, preparing yourself to live a better life. The spirit remembering wholeness and what you are creating. The spirit, that's one of the things in my daily GPS this morning. I was just feeling really strongly the truth that our spirit is the same yesterday and today and forever, just like God says he is, that our spirit doesn't change. We definitely have different opportunities with experiences and things like that, where we can grow and develop, but our spirits are eternal things that remember really well, and our bodies are the ones that have kind of forgotten. And I just think it's so powerful when we allow ourselves to step into a place of remembering on an eternal scale, and how powerful that can be in preparing us for the future reality, because we sort of remember what the eternal reality is. So I felt like that would be something really powerful to focus on as we are entering, we're just started a new month, and we're going to be starting a new year next year. And now's the time to kind of start dreaming and planning what we want to create for the future, for this next year coming up, and even years beyond. So let's go ahead and just have a private silent meditation on gratitude for preparing for future reality. And I'm going to set the timer for 90 seconds and just write down whatever comes to you in your inspiration, and then we'll share. Begin. All right. I was really grateful for that 90 seconds because it helped me gain a little more clarity, a lot more clarity actually, about some things that I was focused on in my daily GPS this morning. Remembering who I was in body years ago. I'm talking like, 30 years ago when I was first married, and kind of what the nature of me was in that at that time. I had a limiting belief come up this morning about I can't help what's happening. That was my limiting belief that came up this morning about my body and some things that have been happening inside my body and outside my body, my actual body, that things that people can see, that I can see in the mirror, and also some changes that are happening, just like with hormones and things like that. And that limiting belief, I can't help what's happening, came up, and I immediately saw it as a limiting belief. And I was like, that's not true. And there are some things that I can change, that I can help. I can change my mind. I can change my beliefs. I can change my emotions. I can change my habits. And the word came to me, I can change my nature. And I have read that in the scriptures, that there were people who their very natures were changed. They had no more disposition to do evil, and they wanted to do good continually. People that were inherently, taught in their childhood even to be evil and to hate and to, create separation between them and other cultures, were changed. Their natures were changed. And I realized as I was hearing this 90-second meditation that as I was remembering who I was in body years ago, my nature was to exercise daily. My nature is what I wanted to do. It was fun. It brought joy to me. It was like, this is who I am. I identified with it. I went to the gym every single day, and back then was aerobics and all these really cool things that I just looked forward to. And I know, because that was my nature then, it is my nature. It was something that I naturally just, it was just fun for me. So I've learned some new things today, that I can help what's happening. It's not just like stuff that's happening to me. There are habits that I've changed and told myself that my nature is different now. Apparently, that my identity is that of someone who doesn't exercise on a daily basis. And it's not true. So I'm super excited to get more aligned with truth, and to step back into that natural flow that is happy and joyful and fun for me. Who else has something they'd like to share? And that's going to be my future reality.
I'll share.
Rachel.
I just had this same experience, Wileen, this week. I was really struggling with my twins, and I prayed to see them for who they are and to find my purpose in their life and their purpose in mine. And what came to me was they reminded me of who I was as a little child, that I am a bouncy, fun, full of light, and excited for my life, excited for every day. They reminded me that that's actually who I am.
Awesome.
That's my nature. And that they're meant to bless me, to remind me of that gift of that's who I am to go through this life. So.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you. That is confirmation for me as well. Thank you.
And can I share one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
The other thing that came to me is hope. Hope is a feeling that creates our future realities. And when we are filled with hope, we see our dreams and our future with faith, and knowing that it's being prepared, that we don't need to fear. So
beautiful. Thank you. You're absolutely right. There has to be hope even before there's faith. No, it's faith first and then hope. So we have faith, can't really see any evidence, but then usually there's like this little light at the end of the tunnel, like you just received that feeling of, oh yeah, this is actually who I am. So there's hope that you can return to that. I love that. And that will create your future reality.
Yeah, sorry, like a vision of some kind helps create that hope a lot of times too.
Exactly. your twins are that vision. Thank you. Okay, we have lots of people unmuting. Let me just write your names down real quick so we can get everybody's comments. And I think I got everyone. Okay, so we'll go Robert and then Deepti.
All right, thank you. So I had a sign above my headway at one time that read, "If you can dream it, you can have it, guaranteed for as long as you own it," which is really good. However, and there's nothing, I have tapped dreams into me since I was 7 years old. So I understand the value. I've lived my life nearly 30 years ahead of my time. The problem with that as I approach 60 with a perhaps limiting belief that I'll live to say 90 or somewhere right in that, maybe a limiting belief, time will tell ultimately. And I thought to myself, well, okay, if I'm not living in the moment and I'm always living in the future through my dreams, then what happens when I hit 62? Do I start lowering that number to 28, 27, 26? And at 90, I finally figure out that I need to live my life every day, day by day. Because at 90, what am I going to do? Add another 30? The odds are slim. I used to say, well, if I can make it past 100, I'll be in good shape because very few people die over 100. But that was more of a humorous note for me than reality. I need to live in the present with dreams.
Yes,
the future.
I love that. Absolutely. And that's part of preparing for future reality. It's not living in the future reality. It's preparing for it by, you can imagine it, you can dream it, you can set, intentions like, living to 90 and maybe even saying, like I do, I'm going to live to 147. And I'm thinking maybe when I'm 146, I might like up that. I love how you're saying that about maybe upping it when you get to 90. Something that you said, I just want to reiterate, you said, I own it. That is, I think, one of the most powerful new beliefs that we could create for ourselves as we are preparing for the future reality, is owning our future reality. I love that.
Well, I've got to tell you where that came from, because it's so funny how things come together. I was at a function and it was like a license plate that read, "If you can dream it, you can own it." And that was all it said. Well, unpackaging a swing for our new baby 30 years ago, they had a little sticker on there that said, "Guaranteed for as long as you own it." And I loved it. And I stuck that sticker on that plate. So the plate was, "If you can dream it, you can have it, guaranteed for as long as you own it." And I thought,
love
perfect.
And seriously, as long as you own it, as soon as you choose to let it go, when you're like, okay, I'm done with this, I'm going to pass it on to somebody else. I love that. And then your new future reality. I love that.
Yes. Thank you.
Deepti and then Tammy.
So continuing to what Robert said, that dreams create your reality, and we have this wonderful human imagination within us, which is the actual creative power of God within all of us. It is your savior. So if you're thirsty, water would be your savior. If you needed a job, probably an employment would be your savior. So your imagination is the power to save you from whatever circumstance you are in or you find yourself in currently. Whatever is now is what you fed with it before. So if you want a better future reality, you better be feeding in the good stuff now. So let the past be past, and your future starts blank slate. So you are the one who wants to write and fill in that future with the most lovely things.
I love that. There's a couple things on my vision board that I've actually been feeling a little restricted in my life on a couple things. And I wrote all these things that I was grateful for about that. And then I also have been in the process of transitioning into creating a future reality that is different. And it was that feeling of restriction. So I love what you're saying, that we have that creative power of God within us. There's never a time when we have to say, I can't help what's happening. I can't change it. I can't, I just have to live this way. There's
The
never a
only
time.
Yes, and the only problem is with the owning part, because what keeps happening is the moment you have a desire, it's already planted. But what keeps happening is we keep digging it to see for evidence, or is it growing? What's happening,
Keep
because we
digging it
don't
up.
see evidence. Yes, we keep digging it up. So, instead of the digging it up and the doubts, if you just keep watering those seeds with your, positive thoughts, because if you have those positive thoughts, you know that there's nothing that's going to go against you. So instead of
Awesome.
weeding them, I think just keep watering them. And yeah, the most important thing is, we just worry for the future reality. If once you let that go and you just know that, okay, everything I desire is already mine, you build that then you're not going to break the momentum. The moment you start digging in your future reality and wanting to know if it's coming, you are breaking your momentum. So if you keep persisting, it will come faster than, the longer.
Totally true. I'm going to be doing a master class on December 17th, and just the exact thing that you shared, that principle that you shared is part of that. With the flow of nature, the natural order of things, you plant those seeds and you don't dig them up. You just have faith that those seeds are growing, even though you can't see any green leaves popping up beyond the soil. So thank you.
There's another example just came to me is, if you just order a pizza, you don't like kind of worry, oh, is the guy going to forget to put tomatoes on your pizza, or is he going to not find my house address? And you don't do that. You just sit back and wait for the your doorbell to ring, and savage that pizza into your mouth. So it's something like that.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So true. Tammy, and then Mary.
What came to me were just a couple things that have been so powerful for me recently in helping me prepare for whatever's coming in the future. And one of them, Wileen, is something you were teaching a couple weeks ago, is just that knowing that nothing is a challenge to God. So that whatever comes in the future is simply an experience that's necessary on my path to get me to where I need to be. And I'm so grateful for that. That was such a huge shift for me and such a powerful thing for me to implement in my mindset. And then the other thing that has been really powerful for me is consciously focusing on that we are to love others, that we are not each other's judges, and that we are just simply to love each other. And that has been such a huge focus for me with my kids and within our family right now. And as I consciously work on that, it's been really, really amazing to see the changes that have come within our family, and just the leveling up that has come within our relationships with each other. And those two things have been so powerful for me recently.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. I think, there's a difference when you're creating on your vision board and in your imagination, everything, when you choose a goal and it's like, okay, this is what I want it to look like. And if you just look at just me creating the vision, who knows if that's going to actually happen or not. That would be like me taking a lump of clay and forming it into the shape of a seed and saying, okay, I'm going to plant this seed, and I can just envision it growing and everything, but it doesn't have the breath of life in it that God, the structure within the seed that God has, created those seeds to have everything that is needed within it. But if we use our creative imagination, but first asking God to unfold the vision and watching the vision unfold and seeing, oh, this is actually really perfect. I would never have thought of it this way. And writing down those details, and really taking note of how that vision has unfolded, that is a totally different way of creating. And all of the seeds, all of the components are within that seed of imagination, that it must come to be. And there's no reason for us to dig it up and see if it's working, because it started with God. And just, I feel like that's what you're saying, is just allowing God to provide that future vision for us. And then just basically following the steps and allowing the things to happen, that bring it to us, allowing God to open the vision and knowing that because he started it, that it definitely is going to be a reality, and it's always going to be better than what we could create anyway. Mary, and then Tyree.
So my first thing, what came to me this morning about the preparing for future reality, was I'm grateful for business plans that help us prepare to accomplish and create our reality. My son and I were talking this week, and I said to him, wow, I just loved being your mom when you were young. I mean, I love being your mom now too. He joked about that, but I love being a mom of young kids because I was more creative and relaxed and open and playful. And so, creating a business, I've resisted a business plan, even though I've made them in the past, because it just seems so business and serious. But I realize that it's really what helps us create and see more, just to be able to visualize and execute a plan, to be able to prepare for our future reality. That's part of it. At least I was able to see it. When you can see it first, then you can go about preparing it and creating it. And so that's what came to me, and I'm just really grateful for this conversation.
Awesome. Thank you. I just want to read what Deep T wrote in the chat. Kind of goes with what had been shared before. You just sit back and enjoy life and be in the present moment. Being in the eternal now is your doorway to the future reality at its best. Mastering being in the present is so easy, and I'm acing it. That's my new belief. Beautiful. And Mary, I love what you're saying about you are all about fun, and just that is your nature. That is your natural best. And there's no reason why you can't create a business plan that is fun. Like, that is absolutely possible to bring your natural gifts into creating that business plan. Love that. Thank you. So we've got Tyree and then Betsy, and then we will move on to our permission process.
So this weekend I was listening to an interview that Lewis Howes did with Rhonda Burns, and she said that if all we would ever think about is what we want, then our lives would be, I can't remember what she's exactly, but it would be amazing how good our lives would be, and how that really is faith. It's and I think that there is a balance between thinking, like living in the present, but also having faith and vision in God and in our future. And as we learn to really be concise and focused on creation in that God space, then how fun life is, and how much higher of a vibration we get to live every day in synchronicity and in harmony with the natural rhythms of nature and of the earth.
I love that. You mentioned about focusing on what you want. And I thought, well, what else would you focus on? Oh yeah, we focus on stuff we don't want. There's so much like worry and doubt and fear and, focusing on like, oh, my kids are making these decisions. I need to worry about that, and how we think we can change things by just spending time thinking about it. But really that's not possible. It's only possible to create those things that, me and God together are creating something really wonderful. And he's not going to put his energy into something that's not going to be good for me. So I'm really just kind of like spinning my wheels when I'm not focusing on the things that he's unfolded to me that are going to be the best. And, of course, we love our kids and we love, the world, and, we want to have just wonderful things happening all around us at all times. But there are certain things that we can focus on, that we can affect change within our own lives immediately, that then creates like this ripple effect that goes out beyond. So focusing on the ripple effect beyond isn't as effective as just focusing on me and what I can create with God that will create the ripple effect. So instead of focusing on like, I need $1,000, we would be focusing on changing, my mindset about money, my habits, my activities that I do in the day, whatever, that in effect creates that ripple effect. So there's a lot of things that we can focus on that will, that we do have control over. And then there's some things that we can focus on that will bring just frustration, because it's not, really anything that we have control over. I just want to mention a couple things that are in the chat here, and then Betsy will share. Let's see, that's what exactly is needed to make everything fun in everything you do. This I'm challenging myself from now. Also, how do you say that, Deep T? Levere means let it be and trust. Maybe you can put that in our Facebook group, Breakthrough with Gratitude, a link to that. Okay, awesome. She says yes. Levere, L-A space V-A-E-R-E. So awesome. Thanks for your comments, everyone. Betsy.
So I really love what you said initially, step into a place of remembering. Mm-hmm. And it went along perfect with my thoughts and kind of studies this morning. I was looking for a picture of traveling on a road and what's ahead, like a road that's curving that you can't really see what's ahead. And so I was making up a meme about, what's ahead, what's in our journey. And in order to really plant our feet forward, you do need to step into a place of remembering and appreciate where you've been. And I mean, that's what I love so much about Facebook, is the Facebook memories of what was I doing a year ago or 9 years ago or however many years ago. And especially today, on December 7th, I really want to pay tribute to remembering Pearl Harbor and honoring that that horrible thing that happened, but yet all the beautiful stories that came out of it afterwards and the strength. And a year ago, about this time, I was able to actually visit Pearl Harbor in person. And it really is, it's just sacred ground. I didn't think I could really feel more patriotic, but it was, it brings me back to honoring all those beautiful men and women that not only that perished, but the survivors that went forward. And, my father fought in the war as well. And so just embracing those beautiful memories and your beautiful journey. We each I have 55 awesome years that I've lived that no one could possibly get except God. And my Savior gets me wholeheartedly. And So my path that I've walked, all the roads that I've traveled, the places I've forged, has just been uniquely me. I think it was a Dr. Seuss, "You are uniquely you."
Mhm.
And when we go into preparing for future, preparation is about its work. It's preparing. What can I do today to make my best self, to
Mhm.
be an instrument in God's hands? And then God does the rest. What can I do? Preparing is that action.
Mhm.
And even though our path ahead is so unique, God has placed these brilliant, special gifts inside of us, that we each get to embrace our own Betsyisms and Wyleen-isms and Deepti-isms, and the things that we've learned and shared, our mistakes that we get to learn from. And I mean, it's such a beautiful, unique path. And that preparation is such a beautiful, godly experience and blessing as we allow it to unfold and we work to help it unfold.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. As we do our daily GPS and our gratitude practice here and asking for those inspired shortcuts, what can I do? There's so
Mhm.
many, when we're in situations, a lot of times we think, oh, I can't, this is hard. I'm not sure, I don't know, whatever. But that question, what can I do, is so empowering, because the connotation is there is something that I can do. And I love what you're saying about, God and our Savior knowing us better than we know ourselves. And they know what our future reality is. They already know, kind of where we're headed and what the future holds. And so whatever those inspired shortcuts are going to be totally in alignment with what the future holds. And Deepti also, I think it was Deepti that wrote and something else in the, I'm just going to read this last little bit, wait until it's time, the right time to act. And she says, I love that quote, when I feel uncertainty. And that's going back to those inspired shortcuts, receiving those inspired shortcuts and acting on them. Even if it's something really, really small, and it's like, well, how's that going to make any difference, or how's that even related? But because he knows us better than we know ourselves, and he knows what our future holds, and he's really wanting to guide us in a way that is going to be the easiest and the simplest. It's just like, wait until it's the right time to act. Wait until you get that, receive that inspired shortcut, and then do act immediately when you receive that. Well, we are actually at the end of our time now, but we're going to go ahead and do a short permission process, and then I'll send you off to take action on your inspired shortcuts. So thank you all for everything that has been shared. Go ahead and take a deep breath. I invite you to really tap into that creative God within, connecting with God, because we, as has been shared, he knows us, he knows our future, he knows the future of the world, he knows our gifts, our natural talents, and the way that we get to serve people. He knows what our individual mission and purpose is. And in the way that we get to serve, in that's going to be the most joyful and happy and fun for each one of us individually. Every single one of us is individual, and that's the beautiful part about God, is that he knows us so well, and he's willing to connect with us on an individual basis. There's no one size fits all when it comes to developing and fulfilling your purpose and serving in your unique and individual way. And take one more deep breath. And as you are preparing for your future reality, allow the vision to unfold for you of what it is that you are creating in your immediate future. Maybe it's something that's been on your to-do list that you're like, now's the time. Or maybe it's something new, a new vision that's unfolding to you that you're like, wow, where'd that come from? Well, it came from inspiration. And so believe it, trust it, allow it. And what limiting beliefs might be coming up, just go ahead and take note of those and listen for also inspired shortcuts. So just listen right now as that vision is unfolding for you. What is any limiting belief that's coming up for you about accomplishing that or fulfilling that, seeing it in your reality and your future reality? And what would be the cost of that limiting belief if you hold on to that? How will that affect your ability to create that future reality? And if you don't like that limiting belief, if you don't like the future reality that will create, then you can give yourself permission to choose a new reality and some new beliefs by saying yes.
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 Awesome. So choose some new beliefs that will take the place of that old limiting belief and create a brand new reality for yourself. A new reality that is more in alignment with the vision that God is showing you. What new beliefs, 2 or 3 new beliefs to take the place of that old limiting belief and align with the new reality that God is showing you. And as you get those 2 to 3 new beliefs, just bring those into that vision and kind of give them over to God. Ask Him to confirm if these are good enough. And if there are any new beliefs that are coming to you right now, as you're taking them to God, make sure that you take note of those. That will be really important to include in this vision as you're creating it. And then finally, what is the inspired shortcut? What is the one most important thing that you can do today that will put you on the path that will help this future reality become tangible in your life so that you are living it and in the shortest gestation period possible? What is one thing, the one most important thing that you can do? Your inspired shortcut to fulfilling this reality right now. And I encourage you to take action on that inspired shortcut as soon as our call is over. There are some things happening in the chat. I encourage everyone to just take a moment and read those. I'm not going to take the time to read them here, but I also encourage you to go to our Breakthrough with Gratitude Facebook group. I know there are some people who are not able to join us live that would love to continue this discussion with those of you who are here. And so I encourage you to go to our Facebook group, Breakthrough with Gratitude, and continue sharing there any of the thoughts that you have that you might have shared if we had had time to share here live. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll look forward to being back together tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you.
Thanks. Love you. Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.